Hey everybody, it's Jason Blaha here. Now that my 2 informative videos are done for the day, it's time to talk about current events in the online fitness community. And apparently, and I missed this completely, Calum Moger has had his cast removed after his surgery on his biceps. Let me put on my +5 hat of weaponsmithing, work on skilling up my crafting a little bit, and let's talk about this. Looks like Noah's going to be back and forth in the room here. I might let him hop up on camera in a minute. He might have some input on this too. I mean, he's just a dog, but he's pretty smart. He might have some things to say about it. We'll see if he gets vocal again. But, you know, this is again an example of someone ego lifting, someone showing off, doing things inappropriately, again, just to show off on camera. Without really thinking through the ramifications of what he's doing. Now, as a result of this, he's had to suffer a bicep tear. He's had to go through a surgery, right? A major surgery. And I can relate. I've tore my bicep before myself. Didn't do anything quite that stupid, but it was still stupid. And, you know, that's kind of the thing. Young guys in their 20s who lift, when our ego gets the best of us, we tend to get hurt. I was in my 20s when I got hurt. You know, and I can honestly look back at that and in retrospect say, you know, I should have known better. I should have seen it coming. I knew enough about training in my 20s to know that. You know what? I let my ego get the best of me. And it was stupid, and I regretted it. I absolutely regret it. I still regret it to this day. Tearing my bicep was the stupidest thing I've ever done in my training. One of the stupidest things I've ever done in my life. You know, not the most stupid, but it's definitely up there. And, you know, that's the thing. We have a lot of these young kids on YouTube who really and truly think that they know a lot about training. They try to give advice. And I'm going to give some examples in a second. Obviously, you guys saw from the, I'll probably put it in the title. I have a pretty good track record of calling these injuries. Remember what I said about Norton, that he would probably eventually end up in a wheelchair if he doesn't change what he's doing. You know, he did an update recently saying he was having to get injections in his back because he was laying on the ground and couldn't work. He was in so much agony, all he could do was lay on the ground. All right? And I called this before, that he wouldn't listen to other people. He's arrogant and has an ego, and he won't listen to the advice of other people who are trying to stop him from getting hurt. And he kept doing dumb stuff, and he's probably going to continue to do so again. You know, I called it because some of this stuff is obvious. You know, Calum did this. Had anyone seen what he was going to do, I would have called it. I didn't know he was going to do this. Had he made a big announcement, I'm going to do this curl, this 405 cheat curl with my friend, I'd have been the first to say, bro, I would have been making a video. Had he announced it 3 days ahead of time, I could have made a video and said, one of you two is going to tear a bicep. Because it's obvious. It's painfully obvious. Like, that's not hard to predict. Like, if you were a betting man, you would be, the safer wager would have been that one of them would have got their bicep torn to say that they come out of it uninjured. It's just common sense. Like, it's more likely than not that it was going to happen. So, you know, he got hurt. He's regretted it. He's paid a pretty hefty price. Look at his arm. Like, go look at his arm. You know, I'm sending you guys over to his channel. Check it out. The guy has lost inches off of his bicep. The doctor's already told him, you're not going to start rehabbing it for weeks. You're not even going to start rehabbing this for another 3 weeks. Then, after you rehab it, then you can start looking at training it again. That's going to be months of that size loss. And it might not ever be the same after that. It might not. That's the price he paid. You know, and there are other guys on YouTube, and it's scary, you know, because people look up to these people. People listen to these people. People buy books from these people on training, and you have other YouTubers also who, when you look at what they do, they are eventually going to get hurt. I mean, AlphaDestiny is a big one. And it's scary that he thinks that he's so smart with what he's doing because he's read books about the conjugate method and everything else. He legitimately thinks he's smart. He's got an audience that believe everything he says without questioning it. And he can't seem to accept that he might be wrong. You watched what he does with these rack pulls and all this other nonsense he does, the way that he does it, the way that he grinds this stuff when he does it. He is going to get hurt. That is someone right there who is going to herniate a disc, or he is going to rupture something in his shoulder. Right? It is going to happen eventually. It's not a matter of if, it is a matter of when. You know, maybe Strap-On needs to go look at Calum here. Look at the results of a major injury by being silly and ego lifting and not checking your ego at the door. Not using some common sense. Maybe he should go look at that. And this is me being actually helpful. I'm actually going to be helpful here. Instead of being insulting to someone who's insulted me, I'm actually going to say, bro, hey, I'm going to make money when you get hurt because I'm going to talk about it and talk about it and talk about it. All right, I am going to make thousands of dollars off you when you hurt yourself and you don't like me. Do you really want to get hurt, lose audience, prove me right, and make me a bunch of money? Because you seem to be insistent on doing it. And the worst part is you're not even going to listen to me now. You're going to keep doing the silly stuff you're doing. You're not going to listen to me, so it's not going to matter that I warn you. But if you have any desire for this not to happen, go look at Calum's injury and ask yourself, what's the chance I'm going to suffer this great of injury or worse with what I'm doing? Maybe ask that. Be a real good question. And then step back and be a decent person and ask, what am I doing to my audience? How many people am I going to hurt by people imitating me? All right? I would say the same thing to Kinobody, who's still arguing that his type of bench press is correct. And I'll probably make another video on that. I'll give it a couple of days because he responded again. But it's going to be an interesting point about attitude there. It's something that I've been saying for a long time, that guys who get obsessed with aesthetics, they have a very feminine mentality. I'm going to break that down in detail later. That'll be a whole other topic. He's still insistent that what he's doing is okay, and even his followers are coming in and saying the way he's bench pressing is okay. He's bench pressing through two different pathways that cause enormous amounts of injury, that have caused many, many injuries and even fatalities. What he does, the way that he bench presses, has killed at least half a dozen people over the years, right? The way he unracks the bar, the way he sets up, has caused dozens of people to need facial reconstruction surgery. It's caused broken jaws, broken face bones, broken cheekbones, broken noses. Guys have lost all of their teeth. Guys have been choked to death doing what he does. And he honestly doesn't see anything wrong with it. Same thing, where he places the bar, his bar path, his elbow position, has caused dozens of pectoral tears over the years. It's caused pec tears, it's caused torn rotator cuffs, and you don't ever fully recover from those. And incidentally, Lane Norton is also torn pec. You might want to look at these things, bro. You might want to step back and look at this and really assess and go look up how many people have been hurt doing the two things you're doing wrong, and ask yourself, what's this going to do for my career? When you do hurt yourself, guess what's going to happen? I'm going to make money because I'm going to talk about it, and I'm going to warn other people because I'll be able to use you as a classic example of this is why you don't bench press this way. Look at this guy. Look what he did. Now he's done this to himself. I was right. Don't do it, guys. So I'm going to take it. I'm going to help people with it. I'm going to make a bunch of money, and you're going to destroy your career. You might want to step back and really seriously assess, am I just blowing smoke up your ass? Or am I actually serious? Because if you go do some research, you're going to find out I'm not making any of that up. It's not me. It's most of the top coaches around the world. So in other words, this is another person who's so arrogant, but they're not very smart. Spoiled rich kid. Never bothered to do any research or hire a real professional to teach him how to do what he's doing in any way. Does it incorrectly, teaches it incorrectly, sells his methods, and now, because other kids are watching him, all these young kids who don't know any better, they assume he's a voice of authority because he's got a nice body, got a nice physique. He must know what he's talking about, right up until he tears one of those pecs off the bone, or right up until he ruins his facial aesthetics, dropping 300 pounds on his face. It's not pretty. So, you know, harming the audience, and maybe I would say the same thing to him. I know he doesn't care about his audience. I get that impression from his personality. He doesn't care if they get hurt. But what I would say to you, do you really want to permanently injure yourself, destroy your career, and make someone a bunch of money who called you out? Is that really what you want to do? Because if not, you might want to reevaluate what you're doing. I know you don't care about your audience. You're in this purely for the money, but do you really want to permanently injure yourself, prove me right, and make me thousands of dollars? Because that's what you're about to do. Keep training that way. That's what's going to happen. And I would say the same thing to all the guys out here. See, I even Nova's saying, yeah, go do it, dude. I want Daddy to buy me some more steaks. I tell you what I'm going to do, Nova. Come here. Hey, come up here. If either of these guys get hurt, I'm going to take some of the money I make talking about it. I'm going to buy you a steak and let you eat it on camera. How's that sound? You good with that? Come on up here. Hop up. Okay, look at the camera. See, suck the tongue out. Oh, you got the cute tongue. He's saying, yeah, go ahead and do it, guys. I really want that steak. So, you know, that's the reality of it. You have guys who really don't know what they're doing. They show off, they play around because they're young, they don't know any better, they don't have the practical experience, they don't have the knowledge. They're hurting themselves. And those of you watching, maybe learn a lesson from this. Look what just happened to Calum. And then the same thing, you know, look at some of these other guys you might follow and ask the question, these guys really know what they're doing? Are they going to hurt themselves? Go research what I'm actually saying about the rack pulls. Research what I'm saying about the bench press and find out for yourself if this is actually a legitimate risk. And if it is, then you now know more than these guys you've been listening to. That would be a valuable learning tool for a lot of the young guys out there watching these guys on YouTube. Don't assume that because they have a nice physique that what they are teaching isn't going to get you hurt. All right, you need to do your own research. Don't listen to just me. Don't listen to any of these guys. Do your own research. Listen to what the best experts in the world are saying. Double check everything. If I tell you linear periodization produces better strength gains than daily undulating periodization, don't believe me. Go research it for yourself. And I'm not saying I'm saying that because that's not necessarily true. But evidence might be suggesting the other at this point. But don't assume it's true. Go research it for yourself, particularly when it comes to the safety of performing exercises. Because again, weight training is a relatively safe endeavor. It's safer than driving your car until you start doing stupid stuff. And when you start doing stupid stuff, it becomes just as dangerous as doing stupid stuff in your car. You can get hurt. You can get killed. You can have injuries that require major surgeries. All right, guys, check your egos at the door. Every one of us need to do that. And I'm telling you guys that as a strength athlete, someone who's into strength sports, I am all about max effort lifting. I am all about hitting maxes in a competitive environment. I'm all for that. But when you assume that mentality, you damn well better know what you're doing. Because if you don't, there's a heavy price to be paid on your body. And showing off just for the sake of ego with just doing silly stuff, that gets you hurt, that gets you injured. It's not worth it. Alright guys, but that's really all I have to say on that today. I hope it's been informative, and I will talk to you guys next time.